Hit it. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way from anywhere else in the world. They are the people connected to the land. This past weekend, a dear friend of mine was arrested for something that she's done for not only herself and her family, but she's done for you, me, and anybody else who knows that they have claims to what's called Central North America, United States of America. She wants her land back. And when you hear the reasons why she wanted it back, you're going to feel a kind of shame because you want it back for the same reasons that she does. Fortunately, this sister has enough courage to do what we all, myself included, should be doing. So, you guys all know her. She's been all over the place. And she's here to share her experience on why she was arrested and what we have at stake and what are we doing as a nation of people while all this stuff is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you or bring to you for the umpteenth time Chiefess Lisa Cypress. Lisa, pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Carrie. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. And I appreciate everybody that is here on this live. We have suffered the shadow ban, suffered Carrie losing his channel as a result of his supporting the Akamak and me. But we appreciate those of you who have sought out the information and stayed true to trying to be you know, on the side of what is right, what is true information that the indigenous one is known for supplying above all the others out there. So I really appreciate you, Carrie, and everything you do, and all the hard work that you have put in, and the way you continue to persevere. I appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you so much.
You, well, you have paid me. I don't think it's a pay thing, or you. I think it's just like a energy thing. Things that need to be done, kind of like the wind in the trees. Blowing all the leaves.
Mm.
It's just things that we do, or we should be doing as humans or a part of this land. It's not just walking on the ground. We hit in all in a myriad of ways,
Mhm.
and you are showing that presently as we're living today. Could you share with the audience what has happened to you? Because I'm sure many people have been following what you've been doing for the past couple of years and seeing how this is growing and seeing how people have picked up on it because they feel it, they see it. Could you explain what happened this past weekend to the audience, please?
Well, you know, I came to the clear understanding that they use words to make you think, believe, respond in a certain way. Um, that 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 actually paralyzes you. Um, and I understood um that when I was litigating for my Accomack Indian patented land starting in November. I'm starting in May of 2021 with the guidance of Amani Bey. That um, I really didn't need to litigate in retrospect. the case was not about, it was not something I needed to litigate, because really when you hold the patent, that's your receipt. That is your title. That is your law. It's all of that. It's the supreme law, the supreme title, the supreme, the only proof of true ownership is that land patent. Did I need to litigate for that land patent? Hell no. Hell no, you really don't have to. But the act of actually putting your ownership into reality, few people can speak to that, can actually put that put steps to that action, right? Because actually saying, okay, well, this is my territory, this bank, this house, this gas station, this the supermarket, this bowling alley, this police department, this jail is on, this school is on my territory. All these things, right? Whatever it is. How do you go about saying this is mine and get the heck out of here, right? How do you do that?
How you did it.
Well, I mean, basically, how you do it is you let them know that this is it's really about making declarations and announcements and public announcements, because they're not they don't they're not going to give you anything, but they know what you have. Their job is to keep you from getting what is yours, right? That's their occupation. That's why they're constantly killing the Indians, and they don't care who else they kill in their quest to exterminate you. And their quest to exterminate the Indians, they don't care who gets in the way or what of their people ends up taking the hit. Hey, Dayton. Hey, two up and up in DN all day. Um, the people that are the fans of the show, we really want you all to know we really deeply appreciate you, because there's so many venues out there who talk in circles, who repeat information, rinse and repeat, who have the same debates about the same things. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there's always a new crop of people who this information is new to. So that's not a criticism, but the reality is, um, it's a very narrow audience that is looking for a conversation that is of a different level, that is a lot more critical, you know. And we appreciate the people that come to listen, because there are people that are, that are thinking in a different way and want to be spoken to in a different way, and they want to be stimulated, right? You're not just seeking to be entertained, and you want to know, you know what I mean?
You
uh,
know what? You know what I have to say to that? Isn't that isn't that sort of the smoke and mirrors that you were talking about earlier? Just talking about nothing, gossip, that type of bullshit. Isn't that what that is?
it is when people are talking about nothing, but I'm not really there talking about the people that are talking. I mean, there's a lot of people. What I don't want to be critical at this point, because I just think we can't afford to be at this point about with each other, because at this point, there's an audience for everybody. But yes, you're right. These audience for everybody, these audiences that are herded in the wrong direction, are done so intentionally. These type of venues that talk about nonsense, like you say, Carrie, Their following so big because the internet herds those people that way. Those channels are given the traffic. The traffic are sent to them.
Yeah, right. But I know it. But it's like you said about the audience that's listening to few that's listening to us. You at least have to be thinking yourself on you want some different stuff.
Right.
You have to at least want to better what you feel or how you look and how you feel about yourself, your mother, your father, your children, whatever. But you continuously are pushed to venues that share nothing but bullshit. I mean, serious.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's
You know,
that's
that's all I'm saying. And I'm saying,
by
like you say,
design. Yeah, it's by design.
yeah,
The
but
government exposes.
the
Yeah.
people who are in it and support that type of stuff. I mean, don't they have a responsibility to, like you do, like the people who are here do, like I do. You have to look at something and say, "Nah, man, you can't be poisoning that water near that army base because there's people that live around there."
Oh
The
God.
average person be like, "Well, you got nothing to do with me. I don't know you." I, having that attitude compared to the one that people be saying, "No, that's not right, dude." I mean,
So people
people like
don't.
that
Yeah.
compared to listening to all the nonsense that's going on. I mean, there's sports programs that has millions of viewers, and sports is just the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, are people responsible for getting out of that type of crap? Or is it just okay to be just a moron and just doing the same moronic stuff over and over and over and over, not thinking, just doing whatever happens? I mean, don't the people have a responsibility to look past that or look at themselves like that? They're, like you said, children, because obviously you pass this on to your children, your grandchildren. I mean, don't we have a responsibility to not only ourselves, but all those people around us to not just fall for the same old bullshit every day? You know, don't we have a responsibility to that? So to make people who don't know who talking about stuff that has nothing to do with it, I think from my own personal experience, it makes people like Diddy. It creates people just like that. Don't you have a responsibility to be better than that? And so that's why I like having you on because you're one of the people that do. Nah, this ain't right. And if we keep doing what ain't right, it keeps happening to us. I mean, don't we see that? You know, so it's not going against anybody or being against or not trying to put people down. No, I ain't none of that. We ain't got time for that. But damn, if we both trying to get to a same goal, wouldn't it be easier if we were held hands or fought each other? And it seems that all we listen to, all we like, all we do is bullshit. So, and I think if we keep turning our backs away from it, oh, just let it, and we're being shown now in the major media or the major how things are going, we're shown now. I mean, what happens when we just turn our eye and just he can do whatever he want to do? He got a lot of money. All kind of shit happens, and we just end up back in the same place over and over again because we become a part of it. We become a part of what's being shown to us. The smoke and mirrors are what you were talking about. I'm sorry about the rant, Lisa. Please forgive me.
It's your show. I enjoyed your show.
No, I didn't mean to go on that long.
I enjoy hearing you talk about these things. That's why we're all here.
Oh, cool.
Here, you're the reason for the season. But yeah, I definitely agree. That's right. I mean, we gotta start elevating in our expectations and in our thinking and in our perspective on things, right? If we keep looking at things the same way, nothing will change. If we keep doing things the same way, nothing will change. If you're satisfied with things the way they are, then that's what you're going to get. The same things the way they are. But right now, I'm riding through and I'm seeing rail cars full of coal in Virginia, uncovered, just tossing coal dust throughout the communities in its path from West Virginia to Norfolk. And in Norfolk, they pile up that coal uncovered on the banks of the water to be taken all across the planet. Norfolk is the largest port for coal exportation in the planet. The people in Norfolk are dying. Their cars are covered with coal dust. The beaches are covered with not even Norfolk. Newport News is the worst area. Newport News is the worst port. Newport News is the biggest port. I'm sorry, correction. Their cars are covered with that, and that's where our population is. That's where our Accomack cousins are. Okay, across the water. Their cars are covered. Their houses are covered with dust. They're breathing in coal dust. The dolphins are drinking the water that has coal in it. They are
Dolphins.
The dolphins and the daggone whales are being beached because of the damn toxic coal in the water. You can
Wait a
see.
minute. You have dolphins and whales in Virginia?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We went on a little tiny boat ride around Virginia, and my granddaughter freaked out because she swore the dolphins were sharks. The 3-year-old was lost her mind. She saw them fins and she was like, "Die!" There were many, many, many dolphins. So many. And they were so close to us on the boat. She freaked out. Okay. And later we found out the reason she was so scared was she just swore that those dolphins were sharks. She did not believe they were dolphins.
No, because the reason I asked that question or I'm shocked by it because you never would think of dolphins and whales, this close to America or in America, like this. You probably think of going up and down California coast during the winter time and the months like that,
Right.
but you never hear of the diversity really that goes on in America.
Exactly. Exactly. And they're killing this our animals and our wild and and our people. More importantly, our people are being murdered, right? So this is the thing. I'm looking at there and I'm like, why the hell do they just feel like it's okay to travel with coal and not even put a tarp over this shit? How do they think it's okay to put it on the okay? First of all, this is the other thing is if you're the major exporter of coal, then it ain't even used by our own country. It's just pure greed. You killing people all in up and down the line from West Virginia to the coast of daggone Newport News for what? So you, as a greedy predator, can get richer. That's all it is. Pure greed. And you're killing everyone in the path. And guess what? That is a byproduct. They see that as a surplus win. Not only are you making money, but you're killing the Negro Indians to boot. And any Caucasian Europeans, immigrants that get killed as a byproduct, they don't give a damn.
So
Everybody
what are the
can get some.
so what are the Indians along the coastline? What is their reaction to what's going on?
Well, they actually are upset. Like I said, I don't know if anybody's seen my Facebook lives. I had a recent one with Angela, one of the community activists that is an Accomack Indian, and in training to be Accomack leadership, and in talking to her, they've combined with some of these environmental agencies to try to fight it. But this is the reality: repatriate your fucking people. Let the Accomacs see the Accomacs rise, the rise of your nations. You say, cease and desist, suckers. Okay? This ain't your land. You get to take no more resources from our planet. You see, it's a whole different level when you are a nation, the nation that you are. It's different. See, niggas that are African American beg and cajole and get together with immigrant Europeans and say, please, please, baby, please, please stop polluting our coast. As the landlord Indians that own the territory, you just say, get the fuck off my land and stop that bullshit. It's a different level, right?
Right. So the
That's
people who,
that's what they don't want us to be able to do, right?
right, right,
Say,
right, right,
get the hell off of my territory with this trash. Stop excavating this out of my daggone planet. This is my territory. You get no coal.
right.
You get no oil. You get no diamonds. You get no granite. All the stuff that they are stealing from our territory, they get no access to. Period. Because it's a different level. And that's why they work so hard to stop somebody like me from claiming land, because I am unapologetically a Negro Indian. I am not mixed. I am uncompromised in the fact that we have the title, the supreme title, and the complete title to everything that is American in our territory. Everything that is indigenous Accomack in our territory. Period. Is ours.
So is that why you push, for Black, African American, Negro people to do genealogy on their families and themselves so they can find out some of these truths about themselves?
That's right. People need to find out about their family so they can be the people that you are. Because only the nations being the nations that they truly are, coming together in unison as groups, as coalitions, as confederacies, as federations, as United Nations of nations, and here in America, do we combat the planet. But you can't do that if you're sitting up there. See, I'm saying the complacency of these social groups. Oh, I'm why you're combining yourself with these people who are not based in their real homelands. You're a scattered bunch of people, and they do that. I understand the reason people do it. They do it because they say, well, my family ain't trying to say that they're Indian, and they ain't trying to do nothing. So they rather be with the people. The path of least resistance are the people who are like already agreed that we're the Indians, right? I understand the rationale behind it, but the reality of doing it is that none of you are actually based. You're not seated. You're not ingrained. You are not attached. You are not rooted. The most important thing is you are not rooted in your history. You are not rooted in your homeland, and you are not rooted in your homeland patented land rights as Indians, or your historical statutes and laws and treaties as those Indians when you form these social groups and you join in with these social groups of indigenous people. It is problematic, and it keeps you from having the power that you are entitled to. You cannot do the things that you should be able to do, like say, get off my land, or this is how it's gonna be, or you have no jurisdiction over us. that kind of stuff. You can't make those kind of declarations when you're a scattered bunch of people hanging out together, not really rooted in your history, your land, and your rights. I don't know if that makes anybody.
No, it makes a lot of sense, and that's what I'm saying. All this playtime, all this clown shit that we into, for real? I mean, it's just a waste. Can you imagine the energy being wasted on the nonsense information that's put out over social media? And I understand that social media is 100 times more the information put out on social media is 100 times more than could ever be put out on TV, right? Mainstream TV. How do
Mhm.
you see that?
Exactly. I mean, I think that like I said, there are a lot of people putting out great information. We know this. We know that's happening, and the news media really is dead. I mean, think about it. In 5 years, probably there won't even be people talking like, "Hello," and news at five. Blah, blah, blah. People don't even want to hear people talking like that. They don't even want to hear that prim and proper fake shit. They don't want to hear what the news or the mainstream media is putting out. And probably 5 to 10 years, the mainstream media, as we know it, as we historically have known it, will be gone. Be a thing in the past. They will not want those type of people to conveying news or information. It'll be over.
So Lisa, let me ask you a question. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Well, the main reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because we got to change things for future generations. We can't leave. We can't leave this planet and our people in the condition that they're in. You know what I mean? You got to leave it better for the next not even just generation, but the generation 10 generations up down the line, okay? And I don't want us to be in a position of being slaves to the system. I don't want us to be ever in a position of us not having control of what belongs to us. You see, our ancestors secured the bag, you know, from the daggone 1600s onward. The fact that my ancestors obtained these patents for the Accomack Indians in the 1600s meant that they cared about somebody hundreds of years in advance. Hundreds of years in advance, they were looking out for us. That's mind boggling. They secured the bag for us. We didn't get it together until now. So the fact that I know what I know, I can never not fight to make it happen. I have to fight to make sure that what my ancestors secured, we get it back. Because what it's going to do is going to lay the financial foundation for prosperity for upteen generations for into the future endlessly forever. We will be prosperous if we lay the foundation correctly, if we secure the bag of what is owed to us, if we get our resources that are owed to us returned to us, if we get the land returned to us that is ours, right? If not when, not if, not if, when we get the land that is our land back in our possession, then we will secure the bag forever for us. Just the way in a few years that these immigrant predators have been able to prosper over what they've stolen. Just think about what you can do with your legit stuff and your ancestors being behind you, pushing you forward to succeed. That's what's important about it. Yeah, it's not just for it's not really immediately for me. It's not immediately even for my grandkids. It's for people that are yet to ever be born. They won't be born for another 100 and 200 years. That when they come into this planet, it's going to be a different planet. It'll be a planet where, at least in America, the indigenous people of the Eastern Shore have what's theirs. Whatever oil is on our coast, that's our oil. Whatever fish is in our seas, that's our fish. Whatever is in the sky, that's our sky. Whatever animals on our land, that's our land. That's what I want for the future, hundreds of years from now.
So you're saying that other people, all these immigrants, all these what the I guess the new generation is saying tethers, you're saying they don't want that at all.
They don't because they're getting okay. First of all, this is the thing you got to understand when people don't have skin in the game, when there's nothing for them to be gained other than what is being given to them by being instigators or intercessors, people that are in the mix to come between you and your inheritance. Their gain comes from getting in the way of your rightful inheritance. That's how these people win. If not for you, them getting compensated by the government to get in the way of your inheritance, they don't have anything. What they get, the government grants to them. So their job is to get in the way of you doing what you're supposed to be doing to win. Their job is to make sure that the American Indians don't win. Right?
Right. So these people are aware of who the people of the land are. So just like if you go to China, those people that you see in China, you know that they're somehow connected to the land. These people that are coming over here, they realize that the African American, the black, the no tep, the Hebrew Israelite, these people masquerading as these other ideologies, these people from other countries realize who these people are.
Exactly. They realize who they are, and their job is to get in the way of anybody being able to do anything constructive with the knowledge of who they are.
Fictitious foundations of power. Could you explain that concept?
Say it again.
Fictitious foundations of power.
Well, I mean, the reality is that we're in a country where, first of all, they lie about everything and how everything was established. So how we understand things to be is completely false. Like they didn't come here in seeking of religious freedom and and liberty. They didn't come here as explorers, exploring something, a place that had never been known about before. They lie about everything that they do. And so they also lie about the foundation in which this country started. We got to understand that this country was the Revolutionary War wasn't about being free from England. It was about we want this territory. Let's fool the Indians into thinking we're fighting while we while we converge on their territory and take it over. All of us as international entities. So that's why the United States, whenever there's a problem, they're like, why are they always getting involved? Ukraine, whatever, whatever. They involved with everybody in the planet because everybody in the planet converged on Turtle Island to take it away from the indigenous people. The Revolutionary War was about a European takeover of America. That's the purpose. It was today gonna bring a whole bunch of international thieves to our shores at once, and us be unaware of the fact that we were being besieged by these immigrants because we're thinking they're fighting each other when they're really on our shores to attack us and take what's ours.
So what about the people who, because you have a whole bunch of Negroes that Supreme Court justices, CEO of prisons and whatnot. You have a whole bunch of people in these positions that I'm sure If you know this information and I know this information and our listeners and followers know this information, that they have to know this information that you're spewing. Are these people are what is commonly referred to as the gatekeepers?
Well, we have a whole lot of, yeah, paid, compensated gatekeepers that keep information from getting to the appropriate people. I mean, um, we got to understand the feds control YouTube, Facebook, all this stuff. It is highly policed and regulated by these organizations, right? And why do they control it? Because they want to make sure that the Negro Indians don't know that they're the Indians. They want to make sure that the Negro Indians not only don't they know that they're the Indians, but we don't actually seek to have any kind of power, any kind of rights that and privileges that belong to us, right? So they give you a little bit so you can go chew on that and be satisfied until they hit you with a lawsuit and then they say, well, everything you're doing is not right. We're taking all your shit. Because they gave you all your shit, they can take it away from you at any moment.
So that's the compromise.
That's the major compromise that people end up falling for, is the fact that they want to be your friend and they want to pump your gas and they want to make sure you're okay. That's the compromise. It's kind of dangerous, but it has been done.
Earlier, we were talking about smoke and mirrors, distractions. Can you elaborate on that and how that's being used on just the overall population every day? Smoke and mirrors. Can you give some examples?
Yeah, well, anytime you're trying to do what is important, um, somebody's going to come and try to dissuade you or try to convince you that something else is going on. Um, it's the same way they try to act like, okay, uh, they cannot deny what is true, right? So, like in my instance, when they came for me, they first said, oh, you crossed the line. It was a dashed line. What the world is it? How is it illegal that your tire can actually change and go over into that lane and that is flowing in the opposite direction? With a dashed line, you're able to cross over the line. How is it that if my tire went on the line or a little bit over the line, how is that a violation in which you stop somebody for? I was being hunted. I was being terrorized. They were looking for me. That's why two police cars turned around and followed me together, and I was stopped by two separate police cars. Why? Because they were hunting for Lisa. It wasn't a routine stop. They were just anything could have happened. They could have looked at, whatever on my, car and thought they could have stopped me for any given reason. They both put on lights and stopped me. I'm having two police cars stop me in the woods. In the woods, like I'm driving through a wooded area. Nobody, anything could have happened. So I kept driving slowly. I would not pull over. I got to the daggone end of the road where the stop sign is, and more people tend to daggone intersect there. So it was a safer spot to stop. But then yet again, I'm gonna let you know I was being hunted for prey because there were two cars stopping me for what? My tire going across the dotted line a little bit when I swerved a little bit in the road when I thought there was a I was looking I thought there was a tire there was a turtle in the road. Okay. I was trying to move out the way because I had seen the turtle coming crossing the road when I came up the road the opposite direction. He was now on my side of the road and I was trying to make room for the turtle. I was distracted by the police behind me and my tire went all over on the line. But they're gonna stop me. Put both of them put lights on to stop me for that because they were preying on me. And the fact that they were geared up to stop somebody for something that really isn't important, to have a arrest on sight order, an indictment to arrest on sight. Really? And what is the charge that you need to arrest? You would think that there was a capital offense to even put out any kind of order for arrest on site. Makes the police act in a certain. My life was put in jeopardy because this daggone district attorney decided to put out an order of arrest on site, on because why? Because they want to scare, manipulate me into daggone submission and silence. And they want to lock me up and make me disappear and stop doing what I'm doing. That's why. That's why. See, because the police officers, they just act on what they're told. They just act on what they're told. Oh, there's a bench warrant. Arrest upon sight. They do as they're told. They don't know I'm a daggone professional daggone caregiver. They don't know that I've been responsibly working in my profession for over 30 some years. They don't know that I'm daggone why I'm working for what I'm doing and why I'm claiming the land that I'm claiming. They don't fully understand who I am. All they understand is that their daggone DA or Commonwealth attorney is saying, go get her, bring her back and arrest her. Now, that's what they know. And so the police, fighting the police, you're going to fight the robots that are doing their robot job and what? Get shot in the meantime because they're determined to do their job and I'm interfering with them getting their job done. That's what they get paid to do. That's what the wealthy have police forces for. That the police force is nothing more than the private security of the elite. Right? That's what police forces are really. What do you think, Carrie?
No, that's what they are for. I
Right.
mean, and this is what I'm saying. And this is why we can't be giving bullshit information. Oh, I didn't know. Huh? I don't know. All that because it that's the smoke and mirrors. We never see for what it really is. All this corruption going up that's going on by these people who are supposedly running things, and we don't see it. We don't say nothing. We don't care. Let's go see what Diddy's doing. I mean, what's up?
Right.
I mean, you got children that's gonna step in your role. And what are you leaving them? A punk ass sit ugh. And where you don't do nothing. You don't care. You just let anybody do what they want to do, long as you are fighting with somebody that has some of the same interests as you, that may share a common ancestor. Hell, you might even be cousins.
That's true.
This is what I'm seeing what's going on. All I'm seeing going on, I'll see that I'll get 5 listeners. Diddy arguing with some chick will get 6 million views. Same old stuff. And we really invest our lives into information and junk like that. So all this stuff that's going on, all this stuff that and it happens to you, it happens to damn near everybody who drives on the highways. I think that's another thing we got to talk about, how to stop that. But in saying that, earlier you were talking about you own the land from the sky to the middle of the earth. Could you explain that concept so I think the people can get a stronger idea of what you're talking about? when you say you own this land?
What people don't understand is that when we talk about patents, there's different types of patents. Some patents are recent in the 1900s. Some are ancient in like the late 1800s. And one of the patents that I came across was actually, not that old. But the reality is the Accomack patents go all the way back into the 1600s. And this is supreme title. Now, both when I before when I just got arrested on Friday, by the way. So just getting arrested for what? It shows the level of corruption that exists in our system. It shows it. How low we really can go to try um to take things from us. They will do anything to keep us from knowing who we are. They will do anything. They have no pride in what they are willing to do to us. So when I would have gone through the painstaking research and efforts for 2 years litigating, when I came to the conclusion that, wait a minute, I kept writing in my lawsuit what a patent is. But obviously, I'm not convinced if I'm standing on this side of a fence that shouldn't have been built within 5 miles of an Indian territory. That's the way these public records are written. Their property is theirs until the this our property is ours forever. Okay? And the fact that you have the right to claim it without question, our only duty is to inform them clearly of what we're doing. I took all measures to inform the public and those people that were illegally possessing my territory of what I'm doing. Yeah, the dog from the daggone people that are actually supposed to be in care of the property, because that territory, which I quitclaimed in large amounts, like 11 different properties on that street. I quitclaimed that property with the knowledge that they knew whatever they were engaged in with their going being in care of this property meant that they knew about the fraud, meant that they knew about the deception being used, because they went willingly into this daggone situation where they claim to be us. And so when I go out and I say, oh yeah, this is ours. No, look, we got a patent, and yeah, it's forever and it belongs to us now and forever. And guess what? I don't have to beg you for anything. I don't have to get your permission. All I got to do is let them know. If they choose not to vacate and get what's in their house for them, and they daggone leave it, then that's on them. Because that property is mine without question. So if you want to go in and change the locks back, you can. But the Accomack Indians know exactly the power that we have in the territory that belongs to us. And by us having the territory belong to us, they have no jurisdiction in what we say about this territory. And what you got to understand about Indian territory is that it's not linear like the damn Brits. When you measure what we have, you got to look down 30 cc's, 30 cc's, 30 cc's, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leagues below the sea. You got to look at our territory. Also, you got to look within our bolar system. And you got to understand that we have the right to claim what is ours because we have the title. And they know it, because when they arrest me, do you think they say, well, she doesn't have title to the land? No. She's not who she says she is. No, they can't make those claims. But because they can't make those claims, they're not beyond going to the point of lying and making up false claims, which is really sad and horrendous to me. But desperate people don't care.
So, Lisa, you were saying that and this is just a smidgen of what you're talking about that, I know they get, but it's going back to the smoke and mirrors that we're talking about. You said these patents were issued when?
1600, 1640.
Okay. And these corporations that are pulling you over were established or came into being when?
After 1781. And actually, we're talking about something that was established in the late 1700s to 1800s.
What? I mean, is this, and this is what I mean where the smoke and mirrors come in, because they got you talking, you ain't even paying attention to that.
Right.
You don't even just what they say. And this is what I
Mm,
mean about we gotta be thinking. All this low level, low calorie logic and bullshit that we think about and talk about, that's over. These are the type of things that are happening to your sons and daughters, your mother and fathers, your grandmothers and fathers. And we on some bullshit.
that's right. And being on bullshit is what they want from us. Because when you're being on bullshit, you can't be distracted by what you actually can be doing to facilitate this and to achieving what you wanted to achieve. That's what they want to thwart. They want to thwart our efforts. They want to scare the person that is doing it into submitting. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. I'm just gonna sit my butt down and be quiet. Right? That's what they want.
What about those who say, does she have a right to do that?
Do I have a right to do it? Well, let me tell you one thing. These authorities that are backed by the feds, they know I have what rights we have. Trust and believe. That would be the first thing that they would dare go and delve into our actual identities and what we have a right to do. So if you have done even more so, you got to understand who you are. And that's why you have to be unshakable in your understanding of who you are and what your real rights are. Because they will try to make you question yourself. They will try to misdirect you and tell you that you're somebody that you're not. So that's why it's really important, like I said, that these women, these entities know who they are. That's the person.
Smoke and mirrors, I think that's very important because it always seems to focus that the majority of the population is always focusing on stuff that don't matter. Talking to a young man today, and he was like football, and I'm like, just think of your grandfather following football or baseball. You're just replacing them and following that.
Right.
Now he didn't get it at first, but he called me back and he was like, "Damn, I sit down 3 hours a day to watch a basketball game." And I'm like, what kind of energy is that being wasted? And he finally got it. And I'm like,
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying this is what everybody do, never. No, but I'm saying the majority, what's being seen, when you seen what's being listened to, what's being consumed. It's like, wow,
Why you think that they're being consumed? They're consuming the garbage in such great numbers.
because they don't want to take actions like you and many others are taking, because that fear, not even thinking about it. There's some people who've jumped on and jumped off this broadcast because of what you were saying. Oh, she talking that crazy stuff. Really? And those are the people who want to be entertained. They want to he and caca and all that. This is what's happening to you. This planet is damn near unlivable how they've trashed it. If you could see some pictures, if you can talk to your grandmothers or grandfathers or your great grandmothers and grandfathers and ask them how America looked 50 years ago, 75 years ago, you would start crying how the waters looked, how the rivers and lakes looked. And 50 or 60 or 70 or 100 years ago, or 100 years later, after they came and started their crime spree. And we gonna let 100 years go by and hand that off to our children and grandchildren? If we are, and this is the men who somehow impregnate women with a seed, these are the men who always talking. What? You were talking earlier about how we care more about things, cars, more than our land. Could you elaborate on that? Are you there, Lise? Tecmo, you're always welcome.
I appreciate
And
that.
we appreciate you for turning in and hanging out with us, man, because these type of ideas, these type of thoughts, they don't go too over well with African American Black people. Remember, these are fictitious people. They don't think unless they're told to think. You can't ask them who their people were before the counties overlapped their land. You can't ask them that. It's a foreign question to them. They're not comfortable. They're only comfortable with what they're told. They know nothing else. Are you back, Lise?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. So yeah, they know. And they try to use words. They use words to frighten us off, to put us off their game, right? So what's supposed to happen when they use the confusing language is that we're supposed to be led in a direction that puts us off of claiming what is ours or understand or regaining our rights. That's what they do. They want to make sure that you don't know what your rights are. So me reclaiming the land on the eastern shore, how did that come to be an issue? Well, the issue came because I didn't just get one that I quit claim, or two, or three. The next month following, we claimed under the Accomack Indians uh, about 29 properties. That was a problem because a lot of those people realized that if we actually start reclaiming our land, they won't have these beautiful places to call their own.
Before you were talking earlier about how we will protect a car before we even think about protecting lands or things that we are connected to, things that have been passed down to us. We will fight for clothes, shoes, cars before that. Could you elaborate on that? Hello? Are you there, Lise?
Yes.
So
Yes.
did you hear that? Did you hear that question?
Say it again.
Hmm?
Say it again.
I said, could you elaborate? You were talking earlier about how we'll fight for inanimate objects,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we won't do nothing for the land that gives the light.
Because it's sad, because I tried to make an analogy, like in my mind and talking to you about, okay, let's say that they're trying to carjack your car with a daggone AK, And I was like, dang, the Negro Indian will fight. They may fight for that. The truth of the matter, if it was like an expensive thing of value, a Tesla, I don't know what people value these days, a BMW, whatever it is, SUV, whatever it is that people value these days. If someone tried to take you at gunpoint and take away your vehicle, I feel like the majority of the so-called African Americans would be Negro Indians would fight for that damn vehicle. Whereas if you think about it, a white person would run down the road, an Asian would run away, an African would run out of there. But somehow the American Indian feels that a raggedy, a poorly constructed hunk of plastic is worth their lives and worth the sacrifice that occurs when you give up what's yours to the foreigners willingly. You just give it away. Again, you give it away. The fact that you're willing to just give everything away because of what? Because of what? The land doesn't, because you don't understand the land. Because when you think of land, you don't see any value that you can relate to. But you understand, they intentionally make land something that you can't relate to from the time we are pushed into their school systems. We're not supposed to relate to the mechanism of our wealth, which is being a slave? No, which is being the landlord. We're not supposed to relate to that truth, because relating to that truth means you get to put them out. You get to say, yeah, this has always been mine. It's mine today. It was mine yesterday. And I've got the genealogical proof of it. I've got the proof of title to show that it goes to me or that it goes to my nation. Oh, they don't know what to do about that. How are you going to claim this land as an Accomack Indian that it belongs to the Accomack Indian nation? There goes the daggone portfolio of their wealth. They about to lose everything.
And you also learn why it's important that we are always are at each odds with each other.
Yeah,
That's the reason why.
yeah.
And I will say this too. Many of the people that we say we and that's not us. Just because a person has dark skin doesn't mean they're you. They could be demons just like anybody else, and many are.
Hmm. And that's sad, because we depend on these things, and yet we get blocked in our opportunity to even have these things. Whereas an immigrant comes in and they literally roll out the red carpet to have them have displays of whatever alcohol they want to sell. I mean, they get to win. Okay, but we don't understand that the wealth and the location and the ownership of the land is a real mechanism for us to win. You can't win with that daggone hunk of junk piece of plastic that you call a car. Its value is not going to hold on at the same level as the police, and at the same level of these governments.
I mean, if I think we really looked at the power, I'm talking about as a nation, looking at each other as a group instead of one individually. I got mine, get yours. I think when we look at ourselves as a group, then we'll be able to understand the power we reign. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about him or her. Us. Us. That's where the US comes from. They got you wrapped up in it. You support the US. Spells us, makes you feel that you're a part of it. You're not. And that's how they get you. Who are you? Who were your people before the counties became counties? The states became states. Who are you? Don't take from what somebody else says. Who are you? Who are you from the land? When you repeat what you hear other people say, you sound like a dumbass. Who are you? Who's your mama? Who's your grandmother? Who's your grandfather? What land did they cultivate before all these immigrants start coming in? Seriously. I mean, I listen to some of these programs, these young people, they're finding out the information, but the older generations aren't passing down a damn thing. I'm talking about major wise. There are a few people passing it on, but as should be done, nope. These kids are starving for information, starving. And the African American Negro has nothing to feed them. So, Lisa, I want to thank you for, all that you've done. And I hope this gives us a chance to look at ourselves. You're not what somebody tells you you are. You're not some black block piece of wood sitting somewhere. You connect into all of this. And like the sister said, and if you didn't get it, I'm sorry. It's not just the land that you walk on, it's the air, it's the water, it's the mineral rights. It's yours. It's yours. That's who all this is belong to. This is why people come to America because they know the people who that's connected to the land don't give a damn and would rather have, like Lisa said, an overpriced piece of plastic instead of the land that their foreparents were birthed from and that are buried in the same grounds. So, Lisa, I want to thank you for what you're doing. It I mean, I know for me, it has me looking at the world different. I mean, looking at myself different. Why are you here? Why are you here at this point in time? What did you come here for? And if it's just to buy somebody else's clothes, buy somebody else's baseball cap, somebody's shoes, buy a house from people who took your house and now selling it back to you. For real, cuz that's where we at. So, Lisa, any last words you want to share with the crowd before we roll?
I just want to let people know that righting wrongs, you have to be steadfast and you have to understand that they're going to tell you what they want you to think, right? They're going to, and if you are dissuaded by that, then they win, right? They win because once you believe what they tell you, it becomes a matter of fact. But if you stand on what you understand to be true and resist letting them use words, smithery or word sorcery on you to make you think something else, that's how you win. Their words have no power over you. And once the words have no power over you, the next thing they lose is their actual power at all. All their power disappears once you let go of believing in it. All of it. When you let go and believing that their power exists, they have no consequence.
And that's where we are. So, Lisa, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I hope the chat, I hope you got something from this because especially if you're indigenous to America, if you're an African American or black or whatever, go to those places and implement some of the same concept and ideas that Lisa are doing, and I'm sure you'll end up in the right place. For African Americans ain't Africans, I'm the indigenous one. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.